about
We didn't know.
what went on. So I was working on Uber stuff, and the mayor called me at about 9 o'clock, and he said, "Hey,
Oh, by the way, nobody coming today.
Yeah,
Perfect.
So
we
just so
all
you
good,
guys
yeah.
know,
We love
we're
that.
able
Nothing
to.
can happen.
Just all vigilant, yeah.
Yeah. So today, no,
Yeah.
nothing happening. We were stuck.
Yeah.
So today is just to
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
so what?" And so what I understand is there's three basic issues that we're dealing with here. One is Jesse, right? You Jesse? Oh, Jesse. Okay.
Yeah.
So your issue with the landowner, Mariner, and your agreement with them. What we understand is that you don't have a residential agreement, but you got some kind of oral agreement to grow your kalo on this thing.
We don't have. We tried to reach out in the past with the owners. Like we've been farming kalo, me and Kaimi, and actually planting here
Yeah.
on this kuleana
All the families, yeah.
for like about 6 years now, and you know, me, I moved here from Kohala, Big Island, when I was 18 years old, and I'm 25 years old now. And one of the first guys I met was Kaimi and Uncle Rob guys, and automatically was attracted to the energy and the kind lifestyles. And anyways, we found ourselves to be over here, and the guys, Katrina Marner, them, to my knowledge, they from doing a title search, if I'm not mistaken, they bought this land in 2003. So they've been paying land taxes and whatnot or whatever for how over 10 years and whatever. So from when we were living over here in Wainiha, we watched them, you know, cut. This was all how bush growing over, cause already ever since the overthrow and whatnot, all the lands get overgrown and everything. So they cut all the how bush. They built this house next door, and then everything was just kind of for sale. And they own, this is two properties right here that they bought next to each other. This is on, this is a kuleana right here awarded to Kiba'a, like how Kaimi was talking. And next door is just kind of part of the whole Ahupua under Chief is Kikao Nohi.
Yeah.
But they are two separate parcels. It was never CPR'd. And
Okay.
we were over here in the knowledge that this was a kuleana and that it was illegally sold at some point or had a turnover from the Ohanas that it originally belonged to. And we were aware that there's burials and whatnot on the Aina. So, doing our thing as Kanakas, we coming over here and we this is our food source too. We've been coming and planting and eating, and us, uncle, we Namahoe crew, this place fed our Ohana Va many years already. All the canoes come here. We harvest our kalo from here. We feed all the Ohana Va and Ohana from all over.
Not only that, but this is where we constructed many parts for the different various canoes. For me, I grew up on this piece of property. My childhood friends over here. My whole life, I've been here. My whole life on this road. I get my uncle, Rob, my dad was here yesterday. My auntie's still here. And they changed. And I'll be honest with you guys. I had several kupunas that passed away. They asked us to do something about the burials. One was Auntie Lady Haumia. One was her sister, Auntie Kalihua. Another was Uncle Ipo, which is Palala's grandfather. And my grandmother, which is Viola Harada. And not to mention the Pu'ule Ohana. And then we all related, we all closely related. My grandpa is David Pa. Which is your grandpa's brother. Yeah, okay. So, it's pretty interesting, then, growing up like that, then, the kuleanas of the burial sites and the lo'is, it's like an automatic thing. Honestly, like, many families would just come over here to, like a pu'uhonua, like, go rest and just be over here. And like, growing up, I never know how, I never really understand why this place was so wonderful. And this was like the last hau trees, and under the hau trees you walk. So beautiful are the stone walls and the ditches that are existing. And when they came in, they first had grabbed this aina, and they leveled this place. They hired, our ohana who came with the bulldozers, and then leveled this place. They pushed all the stones, And yes, they took all the stones and they sold it. You know, okay, have a law right there, whatever. Okay, blessings upon the people and our families. Then, okay, auntie guys asking, what's going on over there? You guys stay over there. You guys better go do something. I'll figure it out. Okay, auntie, but you like know something? Okay, you know, I don't know. No excuses. Figure it out. So growing up as a little boy, one of my kuleana was to go visit the ancestors. You know, I have that gift. You know, and a lot of times families would ask us to come and bring some of the remains of families who, you know, have passed. And you know, I grew up. I found many skeletons and bones, and you know, it came to the awareness of I don't know why I would find it. You know, it came to the awareness of Mr. Robinson, all kind of people, and we go look and do dating. You know, all kind of history. But then the whole thing was this was the easement for the families, yeah, for walk along this Awai. This place is called Kailili, to go to all the burials and to go to the churchyard on the hill. Hey. So growing up, you know, that was an automatic, you know, energy of us to Malama and go and pick medicine for Auntie Kalihua guys and Uncle Vince. They come over here in the kupunas, you know, we had rich kupunas over here. And so, you know, that was like, we never had that kind thought of boundaries and, you know, or being, how should I keep, you know, we never had like ideas of land ownership and boundaries because, you know, we thought this was the Lo'i and this is the Iwi Kupuna. And, you know, growing up, I've been raised with all my cousins over here, like really closely, like brother and sister. From the Pule's to the Haumias to the Pas to the Haumia, you know. And then this is the last place. That number one house on Pahali on top, whatever. But then doing our research, you know, back in the day, if you go look in the old Hawaiian newspaper, it tells and it says that the person who was this, you know, Kiva'a, he was beaten to death by this person named Henry Rice, who was the what you call the sheriff at that time. So automatically, okay, you know, and I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. Around this aina over here was one of the first murders in Hawaii. Over there, Uncle Rakai, Jack Safri, and back in the day, Auntie Rachel Mahuiki, her lo'i patches over there. Auntie Rachel Mahuiki was one of the most powerful kahunas ever. That's all our family. So what happened was, one of her Filipino workers was checking out, trying to hook up with Auntie. Uncle Jack had shoot him. One of the first, you know. So we had that kind, and then they, you know, for me, and for us, you know, it's sometimes people not comfortable with this kind of stuff. But us guys, we gotta go clear all these kind of karmas and then stay around, you know, lingering, cause not settled. So what the Ohanas did for come and settle this kind of energies, cause it jumps into people. And I'm not gonna be shameful to say, it jumps into my cousin, Kuka Ilimoku. It's Auntie Nancy's son. All of a sudden you get brain tumors, any kind of stuff. All these people around here, the kids, having seizures. Why? Because no stay pono, never pale, never, you know, complete, no more peace. So, you know, the entities would come through our families. And then where would they go to come and be safe and to heal was this place. So we had all the families come and, you know, Ho'oponopono, whatever, and then they brought all the ahu, made this ahu over here. And then back in the day, used to have one ahu over here when I was little, and it was more back over there by the banana trees. But when the families came, we gathered the remnants of all the pohaku, and then we left it and made this ahu right here. The next thing you know, get all this kind of stuff going, Mauna Kea, you know, get all this kind of ohana just coming all over, and we don't know where they're coming from, but they like come over here and they like leave Ho'okupu. And then they like check up on us, and, you know, the Kalo situation or whatever. But then this is the path, the easement to visit our ancestors. Auntie Lady would come here every morning and pick up Kalo leaf. You know, Auntie Kalihua would come over here and she'd go clean her fish. You know, and this is where we all make our nets and gather. So, you know, this is a rich spot for our families' traditions and customs and history. Bobby Allen has been here from the beginning also. He's still here. And then, you know, this is a place where the families would build things, not only from boats to surfboards, but they also built the relations come strong over here. So basically, this is the path, the easement to the barrios and to the Lo'i. And it awarded to Kiva'a, World Patent 6224, Land Commission Award 9270, and it says it on the map. Okay? So what happened, and what we figured out being guided through all this stuff, and there's an illegality.
There's
Okay?
an error
There's an error
in the county charters, in the
and how they zone. They think, see, because
rezoning and the re-evaluation of the taxation of the Lo'i.
of the Lo'i.
Yeah.
And then in the law it says, and then maybe this is why it's all jam up, because we don't really keep, like, after all the overthrow and statehood and all this kind of stuff, and everybody, we kind of got lost a little bit. But then what happened was Akonohiki was the only one, and it says that by law, who can make the assessment of the value of the Lo'i, of the land, and this is all Lo'i. Then they came and made tax map key. So there's a big history with that kind of thing, where we have our interest, a 1/3 interest into all these these parcels. And Uncle Liko, we will be looking. Why is this calling out so loud to us? Yeah, we know it's the burials, and then there's been unsettled things over here, and there's a Lo'i, but then there is an error. We can have Uncle Liko share more about that.
When Kaimi them call me, because I'm like a 911, okay, with the sovereignty of Hawaiian issues, okay, they them call me, describe the situation. From what cumulatively has been learned through the years in various species, a Lo'i is the Lo'i, the Pahale is the Pahale. The Lo'i was not the place for the Pahale. In this case, the Pahale stay underneath the Wainiha River. So, in essence, what it points out is errors in the methods of the administration. This is a microcosm of a huge thing. In 1893 was 1 inch off. 124 years later, still way off, way off. Okay. In the microcosm of this, like you said, how Wainiha Ntikalehua on her deathbed asked me to restore the water for her family. I never forget that. I had an arrest that was pulled on me, the guys just before Pierce Brosnan unknowingly bought some land, like a lot of people, unknowingly, okay? Didn't know, I was checking the Hawaii, because my cousin went asked me for what, the 4 parcels up there. Next thing you know, I'm walking, all of a sudden, all of Pohakua, the Hawaii is gone. And there's a pond. Next thing, one voice. Excuse me, who are you? Oh, I'm so and so. He said, well, you're trespassing. I turned to him, I said, are you associated with Land Commission Award so and so to so and so? He said, yes. I said, what happened to your Lo'i? Wakawaha. Singing like a bird. I asked him, what happened to the Pohaku? Singing like a bird. I didn't think we'd do anything, went up. But by the time I got back down to Black Pond, Uncle Willie said, what you did? I had a warrant for my arrest. But this is, so it's long, yeah? Inside here, the microcosm of this, the patterns, the errors that have occurred with respect to the rules that encompass how civilization itself keeps peace and management. And here we have, that's why the rules are important. In this situation, there are errors in little inch off here. It's like if I'm any building inspector, right? Oh, come on, give me a level over here. no, what other footing, da da da. So there's all these combinations of things. One thing that was discovered when the boys called me, this is very important too. How do we proceed? Do we have all the pieces of the puzzle? When the boys called me, I know Kaimi is registered as a historic preservation officer, rightfully so, as Benny because he's Mana'o and stuff. I was made aware that under these consultation relationships with the federal government, okay, under what National Historic Preservation Act, Section 106, okay, which we're all kind of familiar with, okay, which is itself is subject to, who's subject to what? Are you really coming? Is this Indian country? If it was, we can say yes or no, sort of. So anyway, I'm made aware of this. What is revealed to me is, where's the enforcement now? Who's there? Department of Defense in the agreement. There's already been, what I see is a method by which we can start to bring the right deck of cards onto the table. The same cards that played, that and Queen Liliuokalani played with. How would we do that? Okay. So in these boys, okay, and I mean, it's just like, talk about on-the-job training. I never even knew Jesse. Maybe I saw him one time. On the phone, gee, Uncle, okay, how we gonna do? He said, just do it. You write a letter to U.S. Pacific Command, and this is what your points are. Why are we doing this? For security. Security, you can have education, you can have everything, but if you do not have security, you always like that. Like one person sleep on the street. After a while, if you can see the light blue, you get up. Okay, so there's an edge on everything. So in this particular situation, my advice to them, actually got them a docket number with the Inspector General, okay, at the Pacific Command. This situation is on file there. I was unable to see all the documents, and they actually closed the case because they weren't sure about jurisdiction and things like that. But then I saw, what I didn't see the other day was the Memorandum of Understanding, which authorizes, and actually, if you have an agreement and you sign it and you have an authorization for people, they're somewhat obligated. It's like a treaty, you're entering into the thing. The Department of Defense was the only place to go. How do we stop the county, the state, the entities from doing things that are so far out now, where not even the county can control the people who have come in to the land? To the point where yesterday I wasn't here, but I could see. Yesterday was about the loi, the equipment. It could have been people fighting people. This is the level of throughout Hawaii. I've had what they went through. We lost ours too. We've lost. But somebody has gained, hopefully, in a lot of cases, only Hawaiian homes. Are we all to be sent to the line at the Hawaiian homes? It reminds me of what happened in Nazi Germany. Okay, this is a serious thing because we are on the edge, could be on the edge of lapsing into a state of conflict here. What are we missing is the question. Given our true, recognizing our true political history, the shortcomings of adjustments, and we can go on and we know what do we need now? The proper kind of, we need to play with the right deck of cards, okay? And I was involved with Butch Durant Dam in 2000 with the filing of the tax appeal, which caused the plantations to file bankruptcy, because what it revealed is Hawaiians kind of don't have boundaries. But anyway, I don't want to take too much time, but that's why I'm involved here, the boys. And I tell you, I'm so proud of them. How many people have got a docket number on the issue of culture? So there is the authorization with the boys if there's going to, if we're going to try to fix something, then we got to play with the right deck of cards. And we bring in those authorities, people who, and Department of Defense is specifically in the Memorandum of Understanding, culture and management of natural resources. Why? What is, you take culture resources, is because the in military knows that the United States has no mineral interests in Hawaii. They have nothing basically, not even a lawful annexation, but yet here we are. But their obligation to the culture and the management of the resources that they know are crucial to them. You know, technically speaking, like I think of the lady who bought the place. What about her? What about them who thought that they could just come and do this, you know? A lot of times issues come up. The county is afraid of getting sued. So they just come in and pound them out. You're out. And wherever you go, Hawaiian, you gotta go. Okay. How do we make the corrections? You know, and how do we address it to this is the first time I'm hearing the story. This is actually the first time I've come through this thing. Okay. And so the boys, that's my relationship to the boys. I've been guiding them yesterday, prepared, you know, to maintain order, you know, as best as can. Yesterday was a showing of the old arrests, how they took place. Things are different. Now it's like, it's a terrorist kind of thing now. There's no talking, there's no paperwork, it just move in, which is so dangerous in Hawaii today because the neglect, the wanted neglect and all of this. That's how deep this is. So I say, if we're going to play to do the healing, let's get the right deck of cards. Let's make the right analysis. And I'm glad that Mauna Kea is here. When we first met each other, you know, it was kind of like, you know, well, okay.
Alright.
Now you put it on weight. You see, we got to take care of business here.
Right. And that's why, you know, I wanted to make sure we came to listen first, understand what the whole thinking is, correction, understanding, trying to look at the whole picture. And then the government side too, yeah, and seeing how we can find a balance in here. So Mauna Kea took, of course, the lead in trying to tell this side of the story, if you will. And how does the cards match up? And if they don't, how do we work on it? And that's where we are.
Can I share something real quick, please? So, a little background on Kuleana, which in translation means responsibility. And in 1845, Kamehameha III, he allotted Hawaiians, Kanaka Mo'ole, or the natives of this land that were here, a Kuleana land where they lived. They gave Konohiki lands. They gave even non-Hawaiians who were part of the kingdom. Okay, overall, by force, the history and the whole, we still part of a kingdom, and it's legit, yeah. And we've been, okay. The history here on Kauai, besides Kauai being the oldest island, geologically speaking, Wainiha is also the largest valley of Kauai. From the mountain to the sea, it's the largest valley. Okay. Introducing myself, I'm Keola Worthington. I'm second generation that was not raised here in Wainiha. My great-great-grandfather Miliahilani Pu'ule, Martha Kavahine Po'aimoku Pu'ule, my great-grandmother, her husband was John Dillingham Worthington, and many others here from Wainiha she went hook up with. And, you know, a few of us, as I look around, we are related. Everybody know the history of the overthrow and this and that. But let me come to like the 1900s. The last righteous queen, or princess, high chiefess, Mariah Kuaihelani Kahea, married Beckley, okay? And they had a child. They were part of the Hui Aina Aloha. They were part of the Kue petition signatures. They had a child. There was an award in the 1900s. $1,000. Kill this baby. This baby and family hid in this valley. Okay? This child, believe it or not, was Lahela, Rachel, Kana Ali'i, Kahea, married Lawrence Laamai Kahiki Mahuiki. And this is how important she was. And all of us that descend from this area, we are blood related to Miriam Kaonohi. Princess Miriam, she gained majority of this ahupua with Kamehameha III. Of course, Kamehameha is a different dynasty as well. And he had to work with the chiefs of Kauai. You know, Deborah Kapule marries Simeon Ka'io from Ke'e. And then Ka'ahumanu, Kamehameha's favorite wives, end up marrying Kaumoali'i. And they're all related. But anyway, coming down years later, the plantation political people, they knew that they needed the land for power, as well as the water, to provide electricity for the island, create a power plant, and they needed land. And what they decided to do, and it's all documented, is we're going to take over the largest valley of Kauai. Okay? These plantation owners, their descendants now are related because they went intermarry, they went interbreed, some by choice and some forced. And we're familiar with Rice, Wilcox, Waterhouse, excuse me? Robinson. That's a different page. But they married each other.
Metcalf.
Okay, Metcalf. Let me tell you about her. So in the overthrow of Hawaii, there was 13 men and 1 woman to overthrow Hawaii, the involvement, the provisional government. The 13 men was responsible to take away culture, history, language, and religion. Emmeline Metcalf, which was a school teacher here, and this was the trail to the school. The old Wainiha Haena school was on Powerhouse Road, which they call it, but it's actually now Li'a. And the school was there. She was a school teacher there. Her responsibility was to raise Rachel Mahuiki as a commoner, to save her life, and made her the kahu of the state of Hawaii, as well as kahu of Kamehameha societies, all those things. And then Emmeline Metcalf's descendant becomes our royal family, Princess Abigail Kawananakoa. But her responsibility was to take away our identity. You take away culture, history, language, religion, our identity, boom, colonization. And that was her involvement. And she ran the record office, to which is now called the Department of Health. Our birth, marriage certificates, all of that. She screwed it up on purpose. But the fact is that we're fortunate there is the answers. And it's somewhere else, but you just have to seek it. Wainiha was such a big problem to our plantation families. They decided to create this Hui Maka'ai Nana o Wainiha. They had to create something in order to have people purchase the land. And a lot of it was Rice, Wilcox, Waterhouse. They created all of these probates, adverse possessions, the time of the probates, adverse possessions, and all of these power trips. And if you seek or